Hey guys, I thought I would give you a different look in this video. I'm going to be very short. Across the street is the bird sanctuary from my house that Carmela Graben and Scotty Griggs like to make fun of often. So I thought I'd give you a look at that so that everyone can make fun now, I suppose. This is about AP exams and the College Board. Several of you have contacted me about what I think will happen. I mean, I appreciate that you think I would have an educated opinion on this, but I think anything could happen. I think that taking the tests at home is on the board. I think that we might go back to school on May 1st, and we could end up taking them later in May. I could see the College Board giving them to you in the summer. I could see them waiting until next fall. I don't foresee the College Board canceling AP exams because that would mean they would have to return billions of dollars to schools. I don't think that's going to happen. So we have to, I think it's, we like to think that the College Board is like a non-profit organization, and it's totally not. It's a big business. I will say this though, and I said this to my current students in another video, and I hope that the rest of you will hear this and hear the truth. I think that's in it. Tri-Creek is at a huge advantage right now. The entire country's out of school, right? And so because of that, it's the schools with the best tech that are going to win this battle. And remember that AP scores are cut normatively, and most of you have heard me talk about this before. Most standardized test scores are, which means that if the entire population of test takers is in the same boat as us, where they're at home instead of being in school, then you've got the same conditions, right, for everyone. And that's going to make the schools that have the technology advantages that Tri-Creek has have an advantage, because they're going to cut those scores at the same levels as they've always cut them. Typically in our class, in AP English Language, about 50 to 60% of students will get a qualifying score on our exam. I completely expect that to be the case. Will students write better essays? Probably not. Will students, oh, the dogs are coming. That's what you hear. Will students write better essays? Probably not. Will students answer as many multiple choice questions correctly? Probably not. But the test is not as much an indication, certainly the SAT isn't. The test is not so much an indication as what you can do as to what you have the potential to do, right? So when they cut that score, your potential hasn't lessened, right? Just because you've been at home and not in school with your teacher. Now, I will say this. I do think that those of you who are the most motivated are going to do the best on the AP exams, but I don't know that that's not true in any year. Sorry, I had to move that. My leg got tired. I don't know that that's true. I think that's true all the time, right? I mean, I'm giving a whole lot of optional work for my AP kids, and it is truly optional. But wouldn't I do that anyway? The mock exam at night, weekend sessions. I was going to run weekday sessions this year. Things like going to Gavitt like we did last year and things like that. And then also just the intensity with which you do your work in class. That really, really matters. And so it's probably no different. But I will admit that, how do I want to say this? If someone was on the fringe of passing, qualifying, or not qualifying for my class and they didn't really like my class or they just don't like English, right? I would say that, yeah, they're probably in a tougher situation because I feel like in school, maybe I could motivate that student to work a little harder, but I don't know how I can necessarily do that from home, right? So I guess what I'm saying is that your teacher still matters because they need to deliver the curriculum, the instruction, and the assessment that you need. But given that we're all in the same boat, right? I think you're at an advantage, and you should feel really good about that. I have friends who teach at Munster, Valpo, obviously Whiting, Hobart, all over the place. None of them are in the shape that we're in. None of them. Valpo's been doing one-to-one learning for a year. So if you're not getting what you need from your teachers, ask them. I had a student today text me and say that she likes to learn conversationally, right? And that watching a video and doing work on that video is not going to help her. And I said, there's an app. I mean, most educational apps are free right now. I mean, they're all. I mean, we're getting emails constantly and tweets and everything constantly about how if there's a paid subscription for an ed app right now, excuse me, a lot of companies are just dumping that in the wake of the coronavirus. So I told this student about an app called Zoom, Zoom, and Kelly, my wife, had a conversation on it last night for 2 hours with 8 of her friends. You know, they weren't here, obviously, right? They were all at their homes. And on her laptop, all 9 of them popped up, kind of like the Brady Bunch, if you've ever seen that show before, where all the faces are like in a grid. Um, your teachers might not know about apps like that. I didn't know about Zoom prior to last night. So help them help you. If you're not learning what you need to learn, you need to tell them and you need to be honest with them. And those of us who are good at this, we will respond to you and we will help you. And that is more teachers than you give credit for very often. So that's all I have to say. Let me know if you need anything.